As you can see, I've already set 3 players who I have logged in here as dummy accounts. This would be my son William, my wife Lindsay, for how to play some poker. Now, first thing that we need before we start dealing is to actually have some chips. So one of the things that I've learned is that we basically need a game host or a game master, which is why I have the dealer button highlighted right here. And I'm going to set myself as the dealer for this. As the host, it's going to work a lot better. Not everybody's going to have to deal or anything like that. It's going to be up to more like the casino with one universal dealer flipping that dealer button around, dealing the cards out, turning out the flops and all of that, and everybody can just focus on playing games. So as the dealer, the first thing I'm going to do is deal out some chips. I'm still working on what all the different variations of chip values we want to use. Um, for now, I have it set to what our normals are, thanks to our regular game host. And so I'm dealing out some chips to everybody. As you can see popping up in the screen, as the host, as I deal them out, they pop up in your little hand. And let's give us some red chips because you always need power chips as well. Okay, so everybody's got some denominations of chips. Now, the way you access those chips to make bids, especially if you're little blind, big blind, or you want to be in, is you have to click on the chip area above your name, and then you'll be able to see what chips everybody has. If it's yours, you can't necessarily do anything with mine, and you should only focus on yours as it is. But when you click on it, you'll see the chips. I mean, everybody can see everybody's chips at the table anyway, so it's not a big deal to click on their hand to see what chips they have. I'm playing as William right now, so I'm going to go ahead and set him. He's going to be big blind in this hand, so that would be 50 cents. So I'm going to take a 50-cent chip, drag it over here, and just put it on my little square. I also have Lindsay logged in on another computer. She's a little blind, so I'm going to drag her 25 cents in onto her screen. And as you can see, she's now bet small blind, big blind. The one thing I will say, and this is the one headache I haven't been able to work around, there just isn't, is that you can't drag more than one chip at a time. So if you need to do multiple chips for a bet, you're going to have to drag each individual chip. Yeah, it's annoying, it's not perfect, but hey, nothing ever is. Now the next thing the dealer needs to get that back out of your way, just click on the little chip icons above your name and you'll see them go away. Now as the dealer, the next thing that I need to do is actually deal out some cards since I'm the game host. So under my game host account that I have logged in, I am going to deal these. I messed that up a little bit. As the host of the game, I am going to deal out the cards. And so I have an option. This is something that only I can do, even though you can see the deck of cards on the right. I'm going to deal 2 cards to all the players, and everybody gets 2 cards dealt to them. And you'll notice over here on the right, 2 playing cards with the number 2 showed up. By the way, the numbers here represent how many of each chip that you have. So I dealt out each person 10 of each colored chip for the purpose of this tutorial. I've now dealt each player 2 cards. Now, in my hand, as playing as William, I have to scroll all the way to the bottom because the last 2 cards you were dealt are there. So I can see he is a 2 and a 6 of clubs. That's what he was dealt. What's interesting, though, is if I click on Lindsay's hand, who is not me, and I scroll down, I can't see her cards. So there's really no point in it, and you don't need to try and do that. But if you did accidentally click on somebody else's hand, all you'd be able to see is the number of each chips that they had. You wouldn't be able to do this. All right, so Matt is checking his cards, and he's decided he's going to go ahead and play. So he's going to call, and I find my 50-cent chip, drop it in here. Lindsay is going to call as well. So grab her, extra 25 cents. She's now called. Everybody is called, so good enough to play. And you can see that those chips have showed up on the board, so we can see everybody's made the bets. All right, it's time for the burn and the flop. So I'm going to take 1 card. I'm going to drop it over here in the full pile as the dealer. And then I'm going to drop 3 cards on the table. And remember, this is all me as the game host. Nobody else would need to do this, but I want you to see what it looked like. Flip all 3. So 7, 7 of clubs, queen of clubs is what comes out. First action is to Lindsay. So Lindsay's going to look at her cards again. And Lindsay doesn't like the flop, so Lindsay's going to fold. So here's our first question. She doesn't like the flop and she wants to fold immediately. What does she have to do? You just click, hold, and drag your card. I'm dragging this from Lindsay's onto the screen. And I drop the 2 cards down. And bam. You see them face down. You can't see what they are. She folds. She should drag them into the fold pile. As the host at this point, before I'm going to turn any more cards over, I'm actually going to remove these off the board so nobody accidentally flips them up or clicks on them or anything like that to actually reveal them, because there are ways to do that. But Lindsay folds. William decides that he wants to bet, so William likes that flop. He's chasing a flush. He's going to throw in $1 because that's a kind of moronic bet that I would probably bet. Matt's going to look at his cards, see if he wants to, how he wants to do with it. Matt likes the flop as well, so he will call the $1, and I'll drag my chip over, and there it is. All right, bets are all good. Turn and burn. So the dealer, game host, me, is going to bring it in here, drop that, and then I am going to drop the turn. There's the turn. And then if I'm paying attention, I'm going to delete that out of the full pile so it's not there. William checks, Matt checks. Let's do it again. Burn, and the turn. King of spades. William checks, Matt checks. Now it's time to see what our cards were. So William's got to show his cards. So this is where it comes in. Now you have an option when you drop your cards down to say who bet. And just leave your chips in the square. You'll notice I'm not raking the chips into a pile. Talking to some other people that have done this, they said the best thing is just to leave it in the squares and collect all the chips at the end. If William, you have to still drag in 1 card at a time. If I click, left click, select 1 card and drag it onto the board, it's face down. If I do that and it's face down and I need to show that card because everybody's called, right click on it and you'll see this option about take card and flip card. You want to flip the card over so you can see it. Another way you can do it is to hold the shift key, click, hold, and drag, drop it down, and you can see what they are. 2 of clubs, 6 of clubs. The best thing you can do is when you drag them in, try to drop them in right on your square as close as you can. Okay, so William has shown his. Matt checked down as well, so I'm going to show mine. Try to drag them as best I can right onto my square or near my name where I'm at. As we can see, William wins with a pair of 6s. Okay, so we declare William the winner. As the host, I'm going to then grab all the playing cards and get them off the table real quick. And now because William won the cards, he needs to pick up all those chips. As I mentioned earlier, this game thinks that the chips are cards as well, just in terms of the technology, but we can still call them chips. To collect the chips, all William has to do is draw a big square once all the cards are off the table. See, notice that I'm going to do that again. The cards are off the table. He draws a big square with his mouse around all of the chips, and you notice they look like they're a little bit selected. Right click, it says take card, and you'll see that William's chips now increase 12, 11, 11, 10. He just took all my chips, and that's how you claim them back. And that's it.